tell you about the history of Faith, Hope, and Love briefly. Faith, Hope, and Love started in 2005. That's 16 years. I went on a mission field in Costa Rica. I was just really longing to find out more about what God is doing. I want to experience it, not just to learn it from, logically. I want to experience it myself. And I went there. I thought I was going to be the one who's going to disciple people. And you know what? The people discipled me there. God spoke to me so loud and clear when I went to the mountains of the Brief Indians in Costa Rica. They didn't have running water, they didn't have toilets, and maybe even electricity. We slept in tent, but day after day, God spoke to me during those times. I've seen people do the same thing, plant potatoes, plant this, and take care of the family, and they were happy family. So when I came back to the United States, I was just like a changed person because my perspective had changed. I was working for a medium-sized company, and when I came back, I hear it differently, literally. It's the same words, but it's different in my perception. I see different. God gave me different sight, different vision, and then He gave me a different heart also. Meanwhile, my church offered me to become missions pastor for my church. So I thought, wow, this is great. Meanwhile, I was still thinking, I said, hey, I want to go back to the mission field. And for me, the mission field is like Costa Rica because that's what changed me. But really what happened is that I did not have enough money or enough time. And after a year of trying, I was not able to go. And I thought, if this is true to me, I have big heart to help, but shallow pockets, it should be true for other people. What else can we do together? And I thought, why not do a mission trip right here in our own backyard? And that's how the organization got started. So we gathered. Basically, I sent 30 letters to pastors in our neighborhood. 12 of them came together and they said, hey, I like what I hear. Then eventually, after all the meetings, 7 pastors came together, and we did the first mission trip in your own backyard in July, the last full week of July in 2005. We had 7 churches, 200 volunteers, and about 10 projects. And this is not just like 2 hours work for the entire week. It's actually every day, just like you're going outside the city, 7 days, and also 5 to 7 hours a day. And we did a lot of projects, and people pay also to do outreaches or volunteer. And you'll be wondering, what? Yeah, think about this. When your church go to Africa or Nicaragua, how much money do you raise? You raise thousands of dollars. Half of those go to airfare and then to food and lodging and maybe some sightseeing and everything, which is okay. But why can't we spend money right here in our own backyard? So I said, hey, we're going to do all these projects. It's going to be self-funded. So we had great experience with that. And what happens next was that in November, the pastors start calling me from the 7 churches, and they said, hey, what are we going to do next year? And I said, well, I'm not going to do anything because I've seen the vision become a reality. You guys do it. And they said, no, our congregation had great experience. And that's why I'm saying earlier that your number one customers are not the people out there, it's the people, the army of God who's going to do the work of God. And they said, no, we want you to lead us. I said, okay, well, if we're going to do that, I want to speak to thousands or hundreds of people so we can cast the vision. And at that time, there was a stadium here, in Indianapolis, now called Bankers Fieldhouse, used to be Canseco Fieldhouse. And I said, I want to speak at Canseco Fieldhouse in front of hundreds or thousands of people. I want to have Christian concert. Back then, I never been to any Christian concert because I was just a new Christian. And I said, I want to speak and share the vision. So they were laughing at me because I still owe $300 from the outreaches that we had because we overspent our budget, so I have to pay it myself. Because, it's not really a church thing. It was just my vision, and then the churches came together. By February the following year, I have a Bible study group, men's Bible study group, and they said, hey, Merlin, there's a church here in Broad Ripple, here in Indianapolis, and they have meeting, and they have free lunch, and why don't you come with us? And at that time, I didn't have, appointment. I said, okay, free lunch, I will go with you. So I sat in the back, and then there was this lady who was doing a presentation, and came this person, a man well-dressed, two-piece suit, and sat next to me in the back. Because really, I just don't want to get involved, whatever. I was just there just to go with my friends. So the person did the presentation, and then he said, I want to introduce you to a guest speaker. And lo and behold, it was the person sitting next to me, a nicely dressed man. And they said, he was introduced, he is from where? Guess what? Canseco Fieldhouse. So I said, wow, this is great. So I never let go of that individual until I get a meeting with his boss. Remember, my vision was to speak at Canseco Fieldhouse. So two weeks later, I had a meeting with a lady. She's the VP of marketing. And before I went there, I sent her an email with 24 demands of what I'd like to do. Christian concert, presidential suites, because I want to invite the mayor of the city and the pastors. And I want the jumbotron, each time they have basketball there, because it's a basketball stadium. Jumbotron, show our logo and show what we're going to do in the next few months. And then I want them to pay for the underserved kids. Free t-shirt. We actually have called, I still have it, Faith, Hope, and Love Night at Canseco Fieldhouse. And then also I want a Christian concert, and they paid for all of it. So, but the first time I went there, and the lady said, hey, I saw your email. Who are you and what do you want? I said, what's going to happen here? But again, when God tells you to do, you don't have to question. You just go there. And again, those demands were just like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And by the end of 15-minute conversation, from what she's told me, who are you and what do you want, to we can do this together. Remember, at that time, we were not a ministry yet. It was just like a vision. We didn't have bank account or whatever. We didn't have a penny in the bank. The band was Matthew West. You probably heard of him. Now he's very popular, but at that time he was not as big yet. They paid for his band to come. They paid for his meals. They paid for the hotel. They paid for the transportation of the equipment. Paid the hot dogs and drinks for the children, and free T-shirts. And I got to speak in front of thousands of people and cast the vision. So that was the start of it. And you can only imagine that year, 12 months later, the very first Faith, Hope, and Love in 2005, in 2006, this was July 2006, we had 50 plus different churches and organizations who came alongside us. And we had 1,200 volunteers, not just, volunteering an hour or two, whatever. It's for the entire week. And we divided the city into 5 different areas. And over $100,000 worth of goods and services were given, self-funded during that week. So that became like an annual event. It became a mission trip in your own backyard. City of Indianapolis, Carmel, and other cities start proclaiming it, including back then was Governor Daniels. He proclaimed for the entire state of Indiana that every last full week of July is Faith, Hope, and Love Week mission trip in your own backyard. So the entire state of Indiana was observing it. And then the former Vice President Pence, he also proclaimed it for the entire state of Indiana when he was the governor of the state of Indiana. So why am I saying this to you? I'll tell you more about what happened next. Is that because we are mercy missionaries. We are in the mission field wherever we are, and we are a community of believers that actually bring kingdom solutions to worldly problems. And solving the hunger problem, which is what a lot of people are going through now. Hunger is not only experienced in your stomach. Hunger is also experienced emotionally, spiritually, beyond the physical.